Welcome to this week's virtual Drasha. This week we have the incredible privilege to begin Chumash Bamidbar, to read Parshas Bamidbar, and the Chumash begins with a census. Now the truth is, Klal Yisrael is counted a number of times throughout the Torah. This time the Rebbe Shalom tells Moshe Rabbeinu to count Klal Yisrael to ready the army. That's why specifically the census is focused on the men between the ages of 20 and 60, fighting age. We're going to go into Canaan, we're going to go into Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is not going to be handed to us on a silver platter. We have to fight. We have to be ready. And to fight, you have to know the size of your fighting force, your standing army. What's interesting is how HaKadosh Baruch Hu phrases the count to Moshe Rabbeinu. This is in Parak Aleph, Pasuk Beis, chapter 1, verse 2. The Torah says, Su'u es rosh kaladas b'nei Yisrael. So we translate the phrase Su'u es rosh as count. Unkula says, Kabilu yos chushban. Get the count, get the number. But the truth is, Su'u es rosh means lift up the head. So why use a phrase like that? There are other biblical words that mean counting. For example, mana, timnu, or even pakad, which means to remember, but could also mean to count. Those are specific targeted words. Su'u es rosh, number one, is a prolonged form. It's more verbose. It's a phrase instead of a word. And number two, it doesn't just mean to count. Let's lift their head. So Onkelos is telling us what HaKadosh Baruch Hu means to convey. But Ribono Shel Olam, why convey it that way? Be more succinct, be more direct, and perhaps be more explicit with what you mean. So whenever HaKadosh Baruch Hu uses a phrase that seems to be a bit more verbose, right, or a bit even unnecessary, the Ribono Shel Olam is teaching us an additional lesson. And herein, dear friends, lies one of the most incredible things about our Torah Kedosha. The Torah itself has so many levels, Shivim Panim LaTorah. But on a basic level, every word, every letter, every mitzvah, every statement has the nigla, the revealed meaning, and the nister, the hidden meaning. And even in this simple statement of Su'u es rosh, lift up that, count the people, the great tzaddikim, specifically the mayor of Premishlan, Zechusa Yagin Aleinu, sees embedded in this phrase an incredible lesson. Yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling Moshe Rabbeinu to count Klal Yisrael, but he's also telling him something else. Listen to the words of the Rebbe. He says, Shekol b'nei Yisrael. What does it mean? Su'u es kol rosh b'nei Yisrael. Su'u es rosh kol adas b'nei Yisrael. What does it mean? Literally lift up the head of every single Jew, of the entire assembly of Klal Yisrael. Listen to the words of the Rebbe. Shekol b'nei Yisrael yihu b'nesias rosh. Every Jew should walk around with a raised head, with an uplifted head. V'lo yihu b'mara shchora. A person should never walk around depressed in life. Machmas shemakir miut masav neged abore. Chaver, sometimes I think about my actions, and I think about what I don't know if it's what I've done or what I am doing, but I come to this overwhelming recognition that I'm not necessarily living in the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to live. And I'm not doing the things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to do. I'm doing some of those things, but I may also be doing a lot of other stuff. And when I pause to think about it a little bit, it's depressing. It's depressing. It's sad. It hurts. It hurts me. I don't even mean the hurt that HaKadosh Baruch Hu experiences. It hurts me to know that I'm underperforming. It hurts me to know that I'm not actualizing my potential. It hurts me to know that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Everyone wants to be like in that state of spiritual equilibrium. I want to know that my life is right. I want to know that what I'm doing is correct. And even though so many times in life I could just kind of bury it away, push it into the subconscious and not think about it. But sometimes it kind of comes up and I feel sad. So the Meir Parmesan says like this: a Yid, the Jew, is always supposed to walk around b'nesias rosh, su'u es rosh. A Jew is always supposed to walk with his head held high. And and never supposed to be in a state of depression, even when I realize that my actions and my behaviors are not in conformance with the will of my Father. Even though I know that I have sinned, I am sinning, and the truth is, maybe I don't even have plans to change my behaviors going forward. And I know this. I know this about myself. He says, Yikabel al atzmo shelo yashuv od lekislo. What should a Jew do? In that moment when I feel depressed because I'm unhappy with who I am, I feel depressed because I'm unhappy with the life that I'm leading, I'm unhappy because of the negative behaviors that I'm engaging in, or even if I'm not engaging in negatives because I'm not living up to what I could be and what I should be, the Rebbe says, don't get pulled down by the depression. Instead, what should you do? Be makabel. Make a Kabbalah. Accept upon yourself, from this moment forward, I'm doing things differently. From this moment forward, I'm going to do my best not to return to those negative behaviors. From this moment forward, I'm becoming a new man. And the Rebbe says, once you make that Kabbalah, once you promise yourself that you are going to be someone different going forward, the Rebbe says, put a big smile on your face. Literally embrace your Yiddishkeit b'simcha. Azai yiskaper lo kol ma shechata ad hayom. And if you're able to put a smile on your face, and you're able to be optimistic about your future, and you're able to shake off the shackles of pessimism and depression over what I have or haven't done, and I can put a smile on my face, fill my heart with simcha, the Rebbe says, everything you have done in the past is atoned for. Everything I've done in the past is atoned for. If I could just prevent myself from falling into the clutches of depression and sadness over what I have or what I haven't done. That joy that comes from giving myself a second start. That joy that comes from giving myself a new beginning. That joy that comes from saying, you know what? I know that I've been underperforming. I know that I've been sinning. But okay, what was, my dahava hava. What was. Now something new is coming here, and let's go. Let's just do things differently going forward. And when you fill yourself with simcha, that simcha, that joy, that hope, that optimism, that by itself atones for my entire past. What an overwhelming and incredible idea. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu was telling Moshe, says Rameir Pramishlan, that's su'u es rosh kol adas b'nei Yisrael. Moshe, lift them up. Lift them up. Make them believe in themselves. Make them feel good. Don't beat them down. We all make mistakes. But the job of the Yid is in the aftermath of mistake, in the aftermath of transgression, in the aftermath of all the life wrong turns that we all make, either because of sin or underperformance. Okay, I got it. I failed. And maybe I failed repeatedly. Su'es Rosh. Lift yourself up. Hold your head high. And don't allow yourself to fall into the clutches of depression. Hold your head high. Be b'simcha. That simcha, that joy that comes from knowing that I get a second chance, a fourth chance, 127th chance. That simcha wipes out all of the averos of the past. It's worth it to learn the entire Torah just for a vart like that. And says Rameir Pramishlan, that's the pshat. Kadosh Baruch Hu was not simply telling Moshe to count Klal Yisrael. Kadosh Baruch Hu was telling Moshe, the same way that you need a good, skilled, and trained army to enter into the land and to conquer the enemies, you also need positive disposition. You also need good attitude. And you also need to have belief in yourself. Because if I look in the mirror and all I see is someone who is broken, and all I see is a has-been, and all I see is wasted potential, and all I see is negativity, and if I look at myself and all I see is the sum of all of my life mistakes, I'm not conquering anything. I'm not doing anything, and I'm not accomplishing anything. I'll fall into that mara shchora, that deep, dark depression, that sadness that Rameir Pramishlan describes. I'll just fall into the abyss of non-accomplishment. The Kadosh Baruch says, Moshe, you want them to be successful? Su'es Rosh. Lift them up. Lift them up. Show them you believe in them. And if you show them that you believe in them, then they will begin to believe in themselves. And that ability to believe in yourself, that ability to believe that not only can you have, but you deserve and you will get a second chance, the simcha that comes from that, the joy that comes, wipes out all of the averos in the past. And when you look at this idea of Rameir Pramishlan, it becomes an ongoing theme over and over in the parsha. The Ger Rebbe, the Sfas Emes, says this a little bit later on in the parsha. A couple of psukim later, same parak, Pasuk Yud Ches, again talking about the count. The pasuk says, "Ves kol ha'idei hekilu," chapter 1, verse 18. "Ves kol ha'idei hekilu be'echad lechodesh hasheni." Right, Moshe Rabbeinu gathered everyone on the first of the second month. V'yisyaldu al mishpachosam lebeis savosam. So once again, the phraseology is so strange. Vayisyaldu al mishpachosam lebeis savosam. So again, once again, Onkelos translates. He says, what does Vayisyaldu mean? Onkelos says that they went ahead and, or actually Rashi already brings down, that everybody proved like their genealogy, which family they belonged to, right? Because again, we're making a census. We want to know who belongs to which tribe. So Vayisyaldu, Rashi says over here, Heviu Sifrei Yichuseim ve'edei Cheskas leidasam kol echad ve'echad. Everybody kind of brought their yuchsan, their family tree, to show where they were from. But the Sas Emes says something so beautiful. The Sas Emes says, no. Vayisyaldu al mishpachosam means they were reborn in the context of their families. You see, says the Sas Emes, after you experience a Su'us Rosh, after you accept the idea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to hold your head high, even after you make the most dramatic life mistakes, even after you accept the premise that no matter how badly I mess up in life, I cannot fall into the clutches of depression and sadness. But I have to keep my head held high. I have to believe that I'm getting another chance. And that simcha wipes everything in my past clean. Once I believe that, what's the next step? You're reborn. You're reborn within the context of your family, within the context of your life. You are reborn. When you hold your head high, even in the aftermath of mistake, when you live a life of Su'es Rosh, even when you mess up terribly, you could remake yourself over and over and over again. And the truth is, this is the very theme in which Chumash Bamidbar opens. What does the pasuk say? Vayedaber Hashem el Moshe Bamidbar Sinai Ohel Moed. You know, if you think about it, those are two opposites. Midbar Sinai, the desert, is a wasteland. Ohel Moed is the home of the Ribono Shel Olam in this world. There are two states that we often find ourselves in life. Sometimes I am Bamidbar Sinai. Sometimes I just mess up so bad that literally, again, my life has become one desolate wasteland. I know that's a bit dramatic, but you understand. But sometimes we feel that way. Sometimes there are things that we do that, like, I can't believe it. Like, I've destroyed everything. I've messed up everything. My life is one big midbar. And sometimes things are going great. And they're Bamidbar Sinai. They're Ohel Moed. I feel like great. Like, I'm in the Mishkan. I'm in the Beis HaMikdash. I'm with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The incredible thing is, Torah Kedosha tells us that whether you are Bamidbar Sinai or whether you are Ohel Moed, whatever spiritual state you're in, Vayedaber Hashem el Moshe, the Ribono Shel Olam wants a relationship. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to be successful. The Ribono Shel Olam wants a dialogue, and he wants to be together. It's the same theme in multiple places throughout the parsha. What the Ribono Shel Olam wants from us more than anything, the lesson he was giving to Moshe was Su'es Rosh. Teach them to keep their head held high, no matter what happens. Do not fall into the clutches of sadness, depression, and darkness in the aftermath of a mistake. Remind yourself that you have second chances in life, and let that simcha of the second chance wipe away all of the negative residue of your past. Incredible. And if you have that, then you'll be reminded that whether you are Ohel Moed or Bamidbar, you too can have a beautiful relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you internalize all that, then Vayisyaldu al mishpachosam. Then you could be reborn. Then you could reinvent yourself. We should be Zocheh Me'eretz Hashem to a Shabbos and to a life of Su'us Rosh. A lot of times things in life happen that get us down. And we do things that get us down. But no matter how bad the mistake, no matter how bad the mess up, no matter how bad the wrong turn, keep your head held high. And may the simcha of new beginnings, Me'eretz Hashem, allow us to be reborn over and over again. Wishing everyone a good Erev Shabbos and a beautiful Shabbos Kodesh.